Hello, everybody. It is Thursday, the 20th of August. Now, I want to talk about a couple of things here about the gathering of knowledge, but I really want to talk about Neville Goddard versus the likes of the Golden Dawn, Aleister Crowley, and I think they call that ceremonial magic. They are doing two completely different things. They're attempting two completely different things, and I want to show you this here. If you go with Neville Goddard, you really need to understand what it is you're doing and what it is you're not doing. I'll get to that in a minute. I just want to talk about knowledge as in general, yeah? So, and what knowledge it is you're gathering, especially when you are on the internet and, you know, it's all there at the click of a button. What is it you actually need to know? So, like this morning, and it is really a case of putting knowledge into your head that you don't actually need. So you're cluttering your head with trivia, in a way. And you're filling up your attic with stuff you won't need. So to be selective about what it is you put in there. So this morning I was watching a video about a guy in Oregon who had a dried up creek and who built little dams to bring the water back into the valley. And then the fish returned, and then the beavers returned, and great stuff. Great knowledge. Yeah? If you are living in a dried up area, I'm not living in a lack of water is not my problem. Trust me. We have that much rain coming down. It's unreal. It never stops raining at the moment. It is August. It is cold. It is soggy. It is awful. And then you might say, yeah, but, you know, everything is warming. There's drought everywhere. There's drought in England, just across the water. Yeah? And you just go a little bit further into Europe and they have real problems. And I mean real problems. With river levels, with wildfires, with the whole thing is dreadful. Even in England, just across the water, it is really bad. Still, it's not my problem. It may be very close to me, but it is not my problem. Yeah, my problem is not how to get water into a river. My problem would be how to grow anything in a bog. That is the knowledge I would need to know. So this is, I mean, you can store the other, and maybe you can store the other in the attic in case drought should come, but as I say, you can clutter up your attic and it might never happen. So you should really you have to be selective. If you have an intention of building something, you should get knowledge according to what it is you want to build. Know where you're at, what is around you, what is you want to build, and then get knowledge according to that. As I said so many times before, if you want to build a garden shed, you need knowledge about building a garden shed. Yeah? And then somebody might come and say, well, building a garden shed is nothing. You should learn rocket science. Well, if your intention is to build a garden shed, if that is really where you want to go, then knowing rocket science is not the greater knowledge. It is completely and utterly useless. Yeah? Greatness of knowledge depends on what it is you want to do, if you have an intention. And here again, if you have no intention whatsoever, that is what I said before. It's like an architect that is never building anything. If you have no intention whatsoever, you can just gather up trivia because it doesn't serve anything anyway. So you can clutter up your head with this, that, and the other. Again, depends on what you want to do. I have an intention. I want to go somewhere. Now we're coming to what came to me this morning, the difference between Neville Goddard and the likes of the Golden Dawn, the likes of Aleister Crowley, what they are fundamentally doing different from one another. And again, I got to this part, and here I was watching a video which I actually thought would bring me nothing. I was given a link to a Brian Scott video about Neville Goddard. I didn't actually watch it to the end because I think I watched it before and I know where that thing is going. And that is that even Neville Goddard spaced out in the end, into cosmic knowledge. And I don't want cosmic knowledge. I want to build a garden shed. Okay. So, so I watched it, but I thought for some reason I watched it, at least for a while. And there was actually something in there right at the beginning, which I didn't know, and which is actually a fundamental mistake that I'm making if I want to be on the path of Neville Goddard. And as I was thinking about that this morning, an image came into my head, which is actually extremely good for explaining that. And those that know Harry Potter, the moving staircases in Hogwarts, that is the image that would explain that. For those that don't know Harry Potter, Hogwarts, the big school, the big building, and they have moving staircases. Yeah? So there is not a rigid staircase. If you go from one floor to that door up there, there's not a rigid staircase, but there's lots of moving staircases. So if you go from a lower level door to a higher level door there might be several stairs that move to get you there. So the moving staircases. And here's the mistake that I made. And it is what the Golden Dawn and others are trying to do with ceremonial magic. And I'm not sure it is working. Maybe it is. I don't know. But what Neville Goddard is definitely teaching is if you are on this floor here in a doorway, and you want to go up there into that doorway, that is the door you want to reach. That is the point of your wish fulfilled. Yeah? And he says, look at the door. Imagine yourself going through that door. Yeah? Imagine yourself being on the other side of that door in your wish fulfilled, which is exactly what Jesus taught as well. Be enveloped by your wish fulfilled. Yeah? Experience yourself there where you want to go. That is what Neville Goddard says. And what Neville Goddard and Jesus teaches, if you are there, the stairs, we're going back to the moving stairs, the stairs will move. Yeah? Don't look at the stairs. Do not look at the stairs. And that is what I've been doing. I've been trying to move the stairs. And that is what ceremonial magic is trying to do. They are actually trying to move the stairs. And that is, to me, as I see it now, that is a fundamental difference between them. What Neville Goddard teaches is you are at the outcome, don't look at the stairs. They will move. And that is the trust. That is the belief that the stairs will move. Whereas the ceremonial magic is actually trying to influence and move the stairs, and that is what I've been trying to do. Yeah, I was not at the outcome, I was looking at the way. And how the hell would this be possible? And then trying to move the stairs myself. And that did not work. Well, for me, it didn't work. So there again, I was given a link to a knowledge to this video. Actually, did I actually say what triggered me in this video was that this is going to go back to front now, but what triggered me in that video was that Scott mentioned that somebody from the Golden Dawn was watching Neville Goddard and was amazed by the simplicity of it. And I don't think he quite believed what was happening, because there were no complicated ceremonies or nothing. See, and that's got me thinking, why do they have ceremonies and Neville Goddard just says, go to the point of the wish fulfilled? Because the ceremonies are trying to move the stairs. They're trying to influence the way. And Neville Goddard says, don't look at the way. That is the belief. The way will smooth itself in front of you. That is the belief. That is the trust. That is the promise. You will receive it. If you hold steadfast at, you are there already. So yeah, I was given the link to this video, and I did get a knowledge that I did not actually expect to find. And in the first instance, I didn't even see it, because I watched that video last night. And well, I mean, I caught on to the fact, that's the thing, it made me jump up that there was somebody from the Golden Dawn should have been there. I found that a bit curious. But it did go no further than that until this morning, where things suddenly fell into place in a major way for me. So, again, gather knowledge according to what it is you actually want to do. Gather knowledge according to where you actually want to go. And again, you want to build something in this world. You don't need cosmic knowledge. You don't need to know others out there. You don't need to know. Anyway, I think I leave it at that for today. And I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.